Well, hello everyone, and welcome to today's global star party with a few clouds coming back in. Got two views for tonight. You got me with some sun and some clouds, and we have Keith showing us the moon. How you going, Keith?
Hey.
See the clouds leaving you alone tonight?
Well, I have my share. They're just staying clear of the moon at the moment. That's
so what are you showing us?
Right now, I have Bert in the straight wall, and it's kind of on the right-hand side of the screen. I've got a little bit of drift. It's not a large feature, but it's always one of my favorites. It always, to me, was just funny that we have a crater named Bert. So,
excellent. And what gear are you using to bring us this?
well, right now I have it's a 10-inch Orion. It was originally a Dob and was moved to an equatorial mount. I am using a Celestron CCD, Next Image 5, I think it is. And, well, lots of USB cables and a laptop.
Excellent. I've got a very cloudy looking sun. I thought the cloud's going to leave me alone for a minute, but it's probably not going to be the case. The main feature is the big sunspot in the middle there, active region 2470.
I was looking at that earlier. Very nice.
There's a few filaments there. Don't know if there's many prominences today. We'll just up the gain and have a look.
A couple there on the left.
A couple of baby ones there.
Yeah. They almost look like they're still around the backside coming towards us. Haven't quite topped out.
Alrighty. Let's go back to Keith for a minute while I put the Barlow in and see if we can zoom in before the clouds get back.
Zoom out a little bit. We have a few other craters here. Give me a second. I might even be able to come up with some names. Let's see. I believe that one to the bottom is Ezra Shell. I could be wrong. I was looking at the University of Arizona's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. It has really, really awesome maps. In fact, let me just change my share over to that for a second. It's a lot more detailed than what I can get, but see if I can see. And down here is where we have the Burton Straight Wall, which is where I was at a second ago. And I believe this is the crater Ezra Shell. And I think I lost my camera. Hate it when that
Yes, you
happens.
seem to have gone black.
Oh, you zoomed in on the sunspot now.
Yep,
Awesome.
we're zoomed in on the sunspot. Fair bit of cloud action to join the party as usual. This is the same sunspot as we saw in the wider view, 2470. Don't think it's released any flares lately that I know of. And clouds. Well, looks like Keith's got his camera back, so I'll shoot back to him while I deal with these clouds.
Trying to recenter on another feature. These are the Apennines. They're considered mountains, but they're actually the rim of an ancient crater. And let's see if I can. No, that's not going to give me anything. And that crater is Archimedes. There on the right-hand side. And Autolycellus. Whoever came up with these names hates me, I swear.
You're doing a lot better than I can.
Now, let me recenter just a little bit. And this is another stretch of the Apennines. And right, kind of center left, I believe, is where Apollo 15 landed.
Excellent. Just switch to me quickly while I get between the clouds, and here's the little prominence we saw before. It's only a baby one.
Yeah, I still can't tell if it's on our side or still coming around the back. It's hard to tell.
Back to this big spot. It's the most interesting thing on the sun today. By the way, this is all taken through a Lunt LS80 solar scope, dedicated solar scope, with a little grasshopper camera. Are you showing us now, Keith?
I have the Alpine Valley, an interesting name considering there's absolutely nothing can grow there. But it's a large crack that is filled with debris. It's hard to tell with the live view, but if you take enough frames and process and stack them to get rid of the noise, there's all sorts of detail within the crack, and it's kind of cool. And off to the side of that is the crater Plato. It also has a lot of really cool detail around the periphery of the crater. Various mountains and cracks and rocks. Again, you know, the live view tends to come out blurry, but with enough frames, you can get rid of the noise and it comes out really nice. Clouds are just not going to let you be today, are they?
Doesn't look like it, does it? Just switched into calcium K light. Well, as soon as we get a patch in the clouds, we can show that.
Now, when I was I have a little Lunt 50, and when I was zoomed in on that spot, it was looking like there was a nice little ring around it.
Yeah, early on this week, the pictures I saw showed it as a heart shape, but I think that's dissipated now.
Oh, let me switch over to a new area.
So what are we looking at now, Keith?
Well, right on the edge of the Terminator is Copernicus, and the other crater that off to its side is Eratosthenes. Again, too many syllables for me. Sorry about that. Copernicus is one of my all-time favorites. Right now, there's just not enough light getting into the crater to see all the cool stuff inside. It probably later tonight or early in the morning for me at least. But
Looks like we've been joined by Dylan. Are you there, Dylan?
woohoo! The cavalry's here.
Hey fellas, how are ya? Can you hear me?
We can.
Very well.
Sorry guys, I just thought I'd join the room and say g'day. I don't have anything to contribute today. I might be able to shoot you a picture or two. But yeah, just logged in and saw you were here.
So this sunspot is being shot in calcium K, which is around 393 nanometers. It's a very hard wavelength to look visually. If you've got young eyes, you can see it. If you've got older eyes, it's sort of very dim. So what we've got now, Keith?
Well, these three craters to me always look like a snowman that the head had been knocked off, and it was, everybody's had this, the neighbor that comes over and knocks the head off the snowman. And you have Ezra shell, which would be the head. Alphonsus, which is kind of the upper body. And then, oh gosh, this is one of those ones I'm going to butcher. Ptolemaeus would be the main body there at the bottom of the image. The first two are good examples of how you always have a little debris pile in the middle. And a common, misconception is that the pile of debris is part of whatever it was that hit and made the crater. And it's actually material that has been thrown back up during the formation. Almost always the debris itself that hit vaporizes on impact.
Here's another little prominence on the opposite side of the sun. So just a baby one too.
That one was hard to see.
It's got some faint wispy stuff associated with it when you really up the exposure. And back to the big beast again. Oh, it's not that big, I suppose. It's the biggest thing on the sun at the moment.
Yeah, I've been waiting for the bigger stuff to come back because I don't have very powerful equipment, so I need the big stuff to image anything.
What are you showing us at the moment, Dylan?
Okay, this is a picture of the same moon that we've been looking at live, of course, but just from 2 nights ago, looking along the Terminator, and I was using, basically first light on a new ASI 174mm monochrome cooled CMOS camera that I've been playing with, and these are pretty new on the market at the moment. And they're really, really fast. Like at full resolution, you get 120 frames a second. So for a 30-second exposure, you get a lot of data, like thousands of frames. So that's been really great, and that allowed me to take the best of all those frames in not ideal seeing, and put together a pretty sharp image in auto stack it, which then takes the best, of course, and aligns them and takes all the best pixels. And having that good data then allows me to stretch it a little bit more in terms of saturation and pull out the color detail of the moon. The color detail represents the chemical composition of the moon. So the greens are lithium and the blues are titanium oxide. And can you see my pointer, my mouse pointer?
Also,
No.
we're getting your face, and your share
Oh, you
isn't
can't
working
see.
at the moment. No.
Oh, really? Right. Okay. One sec.
Yeah, I can see the moon all right.
There it
Oh, you can
is.
see it? Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Oh, was for a second.
I can just see your cursor.
Okay. Excellent. So you can see these blue patches of titanium oxide around here. Now the colours and the what they think the chemicals are can't be really confirmed very well until we have another moon mission and can confirm more samples from other parts of the areas where they land. But you can see, I really like this little crater here, and you can see the ejector just trailing off in the distance. When you get that color in there, you can really see which details are related to which. You can see the blue stripe along here. So it really gives you this other kind of dimension when observing the moon, seeing these little color patches. It's a little bit hard to do along the terminator, because if you think about it, we're looking down at a sunset, so you get the atmospheric shifts in color that you get with a sunset anyway. But it's still pretty good on the moon. So yeah, that's that one.
Well, the clouds have bit me.
And they've got me too. Yeah, that was probably a perfect time to have a look at the Flickr group and see what people with clear skies have been imaging. So Ralph Smythe has done a lovely little shot of the blue Snowball planetary nebula. Don't think I've ever shot this one. Don't even know if I can see it from down here.
The blue snowball.
Yes.
I had found it once, and I was quite, surprised that after I did the processing, I found the same little symbol, or look, can't tell if it's a W or 3 inside it, and it showed up on my image as well. Very cool.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. It looks kind of like a planetary nebula.
It is.
Cool.
And let me see if I can share to the screen share to the Flickr group, because right now no one can see what it is we're talking about, I suspect. And this would be the blue snowball. Is it showing up?
Sure is.
And this is from Ralph, is that Smith? Smythe?
Oh, while you're in there, do you want to scroll through some of the other ones we're in there as well?
And we have Russell Bateman gave us Jupiter, and left to right the moons are Io and Ganymede, shot December 17th. And Devon Boggs, very nice half moon. Zoom in on that and see some detail. Nice. Another half moon from Stephen Ron, first quarter. And oops. Another moon. What was that? That was with a 700 millimeter focal length on EOS XTD. Very nice hair thin. That has to be one of the nicest Orions I've seen in ages.
Yeah, that's got a lot of nice HDR kind of
Yes.
good dynamic range across the.
Well, most of the time when you get that much detail, it's been over-processed and overcooked to the point where it loses its natural beauty. And this one is just breathtaking. Very nice. Let's see. This is one of my suns I did back in, I guess, August. There was a couple really long filaments along the face and a number of prominences around the top up here that were both kind of really cool. It's probably one of my better suns, at least for this year. This is another one I posted that this is the same area that I had live views on earlier, and as I said, there's a lot of small details that you just can't get on the live view, at least I can't. This is the M33 Triangulum Galaxy. I got this about a week or two ago, and this is a heavily processed image. I was surprised that it came out looking this good because I was afraid it was overcooked.
Looks good to me.
Oh, I have no complaint. It's my best one. It's my best M33 yet. I wish I'd taken more notes about what it was I did in what order to process it, because the original images didn't look anywhere near that nice. Crescent moon. There is the one of my favorite features on the moon is the Laplace promontory. Somebody has a song that with the hook line that a beach house on the moon. Well, that's where I want my beach house, right there. Okay. Let's see what we got the other way. Yeah, my clouds are just getting thicker and thicker here. That is a very nice blue snowball. Let's see.
Oh, I might shoot across to Dylan, who seems to have clear skies because he's sending all the clouds my way. What are you showing us, Dylan?
Can you see that?
We can.
So this is not live, but it's 12 hours ago. This is just
Close
60
enough.
minutes worth. This is just 60 minutes worth of data. I hadn't done a lot of this object last year, so I was pleased to get it back this year and spend some time capturing it. Only 6 frames, which took a fair amount of the noise out, and yeah, turned out pretty good. Hyperstar, so it's quite fast, you know.
I've always wanted one of those. I seem to have better luck with Newtonians, though.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of problems when you use the Schmidt-Cassegrain style scopes, and I spend a lot of time each night focusing and refocusing with the temperature issues, stabilizing that focus, and also the collimation as well at the beginning of the night. So, I mean, it's a lot of work, and it takes a good, hour and a half for me to align and collimate and focus, and before I'm even starting to get frames. But But the trade-off, of course, is just shooting at that f2 speed with hyperstart. It just makes it really quick. So to get something like this in 1 hour is really nice. And if I can get 4 hours on an image, they really shine. But even if I get 2 hours, they turn out great.
Very nice.
Thanks.
Stuart, did you get breaking the clouds?
Trying.
Mine are coming and going.
Back to the wide view again. The conditions are a bit messy up there. It's a bit more stable wide. Looks like Keith's got some moon back again.
Oh, it's intermittent, but somewhere in the middle of that is Tycho. Mostly famous from the 2001 A Space Odyssey, for those of us who are showing our age. And above that, I think, is Magnus, and then above that is Clavius, I think. It's all kind of upside down from where it should be. Should have spun the camera around. It makes my head hurt. Oh, let's see if we can get a little bit better, Clavius. Wait for the telescope to quit vibrating and it'll kind of focus itself a little.
I've got a little break in the clouds, so here's the full disk sun in calcium K. Still got that big sunspot there in the middle. We'll shoot back to Keith, see what he's got there.
I just got clouded out again. Oh, nope, there it is.
Yeah, well, this is not live, but this is from earlier on in the year. Nice little filament eruption. Here's a little flare from, oops, a little flare on the sun from earlier on.
I'm not seeing an image.
Okay, it might be because I'm trying to share YouTube and it probably doesn't work very well. We'll go back to live. So what region are we looking at now, Keith?
We are back up at the other pole. There is the larger crater is Aristotle's, and the smaller one is Edicus, something like that. I really should look up the pronunciations. And off to the top right is the Alpine Valley again. So we're back in that same region.
This merry little blob is Venus. Conditions are a bit iffy, so it's very hard to say what phase it's at the moment. What are we looking at now, Keith?
I believe we are looking at Aristillus and Autolycus. Back over by the Apennines. They're off to the left here. And let me zoom in. Oops, I don't get lost. And it's kind of blurry and doesn't have much detail, but this is the area that Apollo 15 had landed in. And it's very mountainous, and it had to be just so cool to be flying over those lunar rover or lunar module.
Is the Apollo 11 landing site visible at the moment?
It is, but it's further from the Terminator, so I'm not sure how much detail we can see, but give me a second and I'll try to find it. I'm wishing I had put the Barlow on this. It makes it real hard to see where I am and move around. Okay, there it is. Tranquility Base would be basically in the center of the screen. There is a double crater just to the right of center, and then there's sort of a peninsula to the left of center. And Tranquility Base is about halfway in between those two. And right about there. Again, the further you are from the Terminator, the less detail you're able to show because of the shadows. But one of the places I always tell people to go look is the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter site for the University of Arizona. And it's kind of like Google Earth, only for the moon. And you can zoom in and see pretty much anything you want. And give me a second and I'll switch my screen share over to that.
Yeah, well, here we are back to the live sun again. Doesn't look like anything's changed since we were last here. No flares today. Back to Keith again.
Okay. This is not live on my telescope, I wish. This is the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter quick map at the University of Arizona. And if you can see the screen, I can't tell without switching back. But let me turn off the little dots. You can see the remains of the lower stage of the lunar descent module and its shadow. You can also see details of where the little path where they walk back and forth to some of the craters. I always thought that was really cool. But anyway, yes, there is the Apollo 11 landing site. And as you zoom out, look for the little, looks like an exclamation mark, and then a footprint, or like a cat's paw right here. It's kind of down in the corner between them. And as you zoom out, here's the double crater I was showing on my telescope a moment ago. And here's the peninsula feature. And that is how you find Apollo 11.
Perfect.
Well, I've lost my sky. Clouds are evil.
Well, probably with that, I think we'll probably wrap up the show. Only 10 minutes short. I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and all.
Yep, this will be the last show of 2015. We'll announce the new schedule next year once we think of it. And with that, we'll say goodbye. Goodbye, all.
Good night.